What is up, everybody? Today I am going to be doing the first episode of a series that I'm calling I Am Looking for a ... And the reason I called this series I Am Looking for a Good ... is because at work I get all of these questions that are a little bit repetitive. So maybe if you weren't super deep in the makeup world and you don't follow all of these like beauty channels, then you wouldn't really know what would be the best product for you. So this series is going to cover the most commonly asked questions at Sephora, and I get them quite a bit every day. So I kind of have this script down for every single question. I mean, it's kind of funny, but it works. But not a script in terms of I am recommending the same product to the same client, but a script for every product that I like and that I feel like would work best for my client. And today's episode, it's going to be I am looking for a good primer. Yes, we're talking about primers today. It is all about primers, and I am splitting this video in half. So I'm going to be doing the first half on hydrating primers, and I'm going to be doing the second half on matte or smoothing primers, because I think that these primers are kind of in their whole separate worlds. They're very different. I was actually going to try to talk about all the primers I have, and that's not gonna happen. There's way too much to say about every single primer, so I'm just splitting them and we're going to talk about these primers in an organized fashion. And before we get started with this episode, make sure to subscribe down below. I make new videos every Wednesday and Sunday, and you don't want to miss the next episode because you don't know what it's gonna be. It's a little secret. And without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into that video. And of course, I know you knew that I was going to start with my Too Faced Hangover RX primer, which I've mentioned quite a few times on my last couple of videos. So the first thing I want to say about this primer is that it's obviously a hydrating primer. What makes it special is that it has coconut water, which is going to be really hydrating, especially for someone that's more normal to dry skin. This primer is not only going to hydrate your skin, it's also going to plump and brighten the skin over time. I do feel like my foundation goes on a little bit more smoothly. Again, it does have that plump effect, so it plumps up my pores or any fine lines that I might have. And I strongly feel like this primer has allowed my foundation to last various hours. Like, we're talking long days, like going from work starting at like 9 in the morning and then being able to go out without touching up my makeup, because this primer helped my makeup stay on longer. The Too Faced Hangover primer goes for $32, and you do get 1.35 ounces, which is a pretty good deal considering that most liquid products come in a 1 ounce size. So Too Faced gives you a little extra, so I can't complain about that, and this formula is great. I recommend it to anybody that's looking for a hydrating, plumping primer that will allow your foundation to stick to your face and last all day. This is bae. This is my bae. Alright, so next I have the Becca Cosmetics First Light Priming Filter Instant Complexion Refresh. And oh my god, that is one of the longest names that you can give a primer, but I do feel like it is very true to the name. The two things that stick out to me the most when I'm reading the title is light and complexion refresh. I do feel like this primer illuminates the face, which is what Becca speaks to the most. This is what the primer is meant to do. It's meant to brighten your complexion. Not everybody knows this, but when you're color correcting and you look at a lavender color just like this, these type of colors are meant to be applied in the areas that are dull or where you'd want kind of a brightening effect. And in this case, it's a primer for the whole face, so you will get a brightening effect on the whole face. So I'm going to read a little bit from my phone here. It says that there is cool light technology that softly scatters translucent cool violet light to brighten and even out imperfections. So I'm going to give it a good shake here to mix up all the good ingredients, and then we're going to get a pump of this. Oh, that was a big pump. Let's see. Whew, that was a lot. Alright, so that's much better, and I'm working it into my skin, and it so smells like Fruit Loops. Whenever I do a little pump on the back of my client's hand, I'm like, smell it. It smells just like Fruit Loops. And they're like, oh my God, you're totally right. And I'm like, yes, I know. I don't know how they do that, but it just brings back childhood memories for me because it smells like Fruit Loops. Alright, so we're going to ignore the fact that my hand is like 5 shades lighter than my face. Don't judge me. I like to look tan. So I'm kind of moving my hands side to side, and this hand, which is where I applied the primer, I do feel like it's catching more of that light. So if you wore this alone without foundation, you would get this brightening effect, but I don't necessarily think that you can see this through your foundation, especially if you're a full coverage type of girl. Like, I don't know if this brightness is going to peep through all that makeup, because I know I love my full coverage foundations and I like how the foundation applies over this. I totally feel like this hydrates my skin and it smells really good. I feel really nice and awake when I apply this in the morning. The Becca First Light Priming Filter goes for $38 and you get 1 ounce, so that's something to think about. And Becca is a little bit more of a high-end brand, so you do get really nice luxurious, I would like to call it, packaging. So I feel like that reflects in the price. But if you're looking for a hydrating primer, I do like this one very much, and it would be at the top of my list. This primer would be trailing right underneath my Hangover primer. So a dry skin person says, I want a hydrating primer, I would direct them to this one first and then this one second if they for some reason didn't love this one as much as I do. Moving right along, next I have the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer. So this claims to be a primer and a moisturizer in one. When my clients ask me, oh, can I skip primerizer? I'm like, no, please do not. Please wear your moisturizer. In my eyes, a moisturizer is going to penetrate deeper into your skin, while something like this, which is a makeup product, it's a primer, it will mostly just, you know, kind of hang out at the surface of your skin. So I never recommend to ever skip the moisturizing step, even though this is kind of marketed as a primer and moisturizer in one. So that's just something to keep in mind. I did want to start off with that. It does have hyaluronic acid as well as niacinamide. I don't know if I said that right. That just means that it's going to hydrate and plump your skin. And this primer looks like this. So it's quite runny, but it's nice because it's water-based. It's very, very smooth. It does dry quite fast, which is really nice considering that I don't like to wait for my primer to dry when I am about to do my makeup. It dries down really quickly. I do get a really nice hydrated effect, and it's a little bit sticky just like the Hangover primers. I do feel like primers like these, the Primerizer as well as the Hangover primer, do a great job at holding onto foundation for long periods of time. It's a great primer. I love it. It's definitely at the top of my list for hydrating primers. As you can see, I've used quite a bit of it because I thoroughly enjoy putting this on in the morning, so I like it. I do highly recommend it. Retails for $42 for 1 ounce. So next we go into the bougie world. The next primer I'm going to talk about is the Dior Dream Skin, and this is part of the Capture Totale line. Now this is a $115 primer. Yes, I said that right. 115 big ones for 1 ounce. The big deal about this primer is that it does have skincare benefits to it. It has ingredients that are age preventing, and it does claim to have kind of like a filtered look. So it has technology in the primer that's going to diffuse the light, therefore, you know, giving you a blurred effect, or pretty much I like to call it an Instagram filter. So I did take some notes on this one because this one's a little bit more intricate. It has more ingredients, higher price point, so I do want to go a little bit more into what it claims it does. Now featuring breakthrough technology that works to reduce fine lines and wrinkles, it'll tighten pores and increase radiance. Dream Skin Advance is effective at any age and works on all skin types and tones. So the primer looks like this. It kind of has a pink hue. You can't really see it through the camera, but it definitely has a peach color to it, and I would say it's a little thicker than the previous 3 primers, which are a little bit more watery. This one feels like it will smooth my face a little bit more, and it has a very pleasurable scent. It's really nice. It smells very elegant. It smells like Dior. It's so nice. Anyways, I do feel like it does a great job at giving a very smooth, sturdy base for the foundation to go over. Again, it has those anti-aging benefits to it. I just feel like makeup applies beautifully under this primer. Is it better than other primers? I would say not necessarily, but I do want to say that this will do multiple things for you, as in smoothing, evening out the skin tone because it does have a little bit of that peach hue, hydrating, and anti-aging. So if you think about it, instead of getting 4 or 5 different primers, this one will do all of those things for you. So I feel like that does explain the price a little bit more, but it's still a very bougie face primer, and yes, it's pretty amazing. But if you're someone that has normal to dry skin, you can find a primer with a much lower price point that kind of gives you the same effect without blowing your budget. But if you're bougie, if you're a bougie girl and you got some coins to spend, like, definitely go for it. You won't regret this purchase. Again, $115 for 1 ounce. $115 for 1 ounce. She fancy. So we're gonna stick to the bougie products, and I'm going to talk about the Marc Jacobs Undercover, Invisible Undercover Perfecting Coconut Face Primer. The big deal about this primer is that it is a hydrating primer. It has coconut water just like the Too Faced Hangover primer, but a really big difference between Hangover primer and this primer is that this primer has 5 different parts of the coconut. So they not only use coconut, they also use coconut juice and different coconut extracts to really give you a mineral rich, vitamin rich product. So it's going to not only hydrate your skin, but it's also going to, you can say, replenish your skin. This primer definitely has what we call a skin booster. Vitamins, nutrients, all the good stuff. Another big deal about this primer is that it will create a barrier between your face and the makeup, but it'll still be breathable because there are no synthetic ingredients in this primer. It pretty much says it will allow your skin to breathe without compromising the skin perfecting benefits. Great primer. This primer is $44 and you do get 1 ounce. And you also want to keep in mind that the Smashbox one is $42, so for $2 more, you can say you have some Marc Jacobs in your collection. And it does have more ingredients. It's better for your skin, so why not spend those extra $2? Anyways, this is a really good one. I only use this face primer when I'm going out for a special occasion or to an event. It's really, really nice. I recommend it to anyone that's normal to dry skin. It's on my recommended list. And lastly, I'm going to talk about the Mercier Foundation Primer. This one is the hydrating one. I believe they have like 4 or 5 other ones. What the hydrating one is meant to do is that it's meant to give you a smooth surface for your makeup to go over. Mercier Foundation Primer Hydrating. The formula provides a soft focus effect to help minimize the look of pores and fine lines and imperfections. Let me show you what this looks like. So it goes on really nicely. Another thing about Mercier primers is that they are all water-based, so no synthetic ingredients. It doesn't have that silicone-y feel at all. Again, it's water-based, and it does feel like it's water-based. And right now, it's set. It, like, as I was speaking, like, the primer went into my skin, and now it's set. Like, the surface of the skin is pretty much ready for the makeup. Also, this primer has enhanced antioxidant vitamin cocktail that helps protect the skin against harmful aging effects of the environment. So it protects you against free radicals, which is pretty much just pollution. So it's always nice to have that barrier to protect you against any pollution that might be going on in the environment. Especially if you're a city girl, you're definitely exposed to those free radicals. Helps makeup glide on easily, water-based, no silicones. Also, all Laura Mercier products, their whole brand is non-comedogenic. Their products are not going to clog your pores and cause breakouts. And also, all of the products in the Laura Mercier brand are dermatologist tested. So it would be great if you're looking for a hydrating primer, but yet you know that you have sensitive skin. This is not going to break you out. Dermatologist tested, really nice. I do want to point out that this foundation primer is $38, so it's one of the more inexpensive primers we've been talking about, and they give you 1.7 ounces. So the most out of all the primers that we've been talking about. Again, great primer. I highly recommend it. And that does it. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video and found it helpful, definitely make sure to leave me a like and also make sure to subscribe down below. I make new videos every Wednesday and Sunday, and I will be continuing to upload the rest of the episodes in this series, so make sure that you don't miss out on that. And that does it. Thanks again for watching. I will see you on my next video.